Imagine a city sleeping, unaware of the nightmare about to unfold. It's Bhopal, India. The night of December 2nd, 1984. Families are tucked in their beds. Many in the crowded shantytowns that huddle in the shadow of a modern marvel, the Union Carbide pesticide plant. To them, it's a beacon of progress, a promise of jobs and a better future. But tonight, this symbol of modernity is about to become a monument to tragedy. A tomb for thousands, the air is still, the city is quiet, but inside the factory walls, a silent, deadly chain reaction has already begun. Inside tank number 610. A catastrophe was brewing. The tank held 40 tons of a highly toxic chemical called methyl isocyanate, or MIC. That night, a lethal mistake was made. A large amount of water seeped into the tank, triggering a violent chemical reaction. The pressure and temperature inside began to skyrocket. This is where safety systems should have kicked in. A refrigeration unit designed to keep the MIC cool was shut down to save money. A vent gas scrubber, meant to neutralize any escaping gas, was offline for maintenance. A flare tower, the last line of defense to burn off the gas, was also out of service. All the safety nets had been removed just after midnight. The pressure became too much. The concrete slab on top of the tank cracked, and a massive, dense cloud of poison gas, heavier than air, began its silent escape into the night. The toxic cloud, carrying over 40 tons of MIC, hugged the ground and drifted silently over the sleeping city. It seeped through doorways, windows, and the cracks in the walls of the fragile homes. Nearby, people awoke not to an alarm, but to a feeling of fire in their lungs. Their eyes burned, as if they'd been seared with chilies. A wave of coughing and choking swept through the neighborhoods. Panic erupted in the darkness. Chaos reigned. People poured into the streets, gasping for air, their vision blurred. They didn't know what was happening, only that they needed to run. But where could they run? The poison was everywhere. Thousands collapsed in the streets, their lungs filling with fluid. Others were trampled in a desperate stampede. In just a few horrifying hours, a city was gassed, turning a peaceful night into a scene of unimaginable horror. The air itself had become the enemy. As the sun rose on December 3rd, it revealed a scene from a nightmare. The streets of Bhopal were littered with the bodies of men, women, and children. The dead lay where they had fallen, their eyes wide open, their bodies bloated. The city's hospitals were completely overwhelmed, doctors and nurses, with no idea what chemical they were fighting, could do little more than offer eye drops and watch helplessly as people died before their eyes. The scale of death was so immense that mass cremations and burials became necessary. Shrouds ran out, firewood became scarce. The city was a vast, open-air morgue. In the midst of this chaos, Union Carbide CEO Warren Anderson flew to India. He was arrested upon arrival, but was quickly released on bail and left the country, never to return to face trial. The company initially tried to downplay the disaster, blaming it on sabotage, a claim that was never proven and widely dismissed for the survivors. The immediate horror was just the beginning of a lifelong struggle. What followed the immediate aftermath was not relief, but a new kind of agony, the slow, grinding fight for justice. The victims, many of whom were poor and illiterate, were now pitted against a powerful multinational corporation. The Indian government took over the legal battle, filing a lawsuit against Union Carbide for $3 billion, but the fight dragged on for years. Finally, in 1989, a controversial settlement was reached out of court. Union Carbide agreed to pay for $170 million in compensation. The Indian government accepted this deal on behalf of the victims. For many, this amount was a profound betrayal. When divided among the hundreds of thousands of affected people, it amounted to just a few $100s per person for a lifetime of suffering, chronic illness, and loss. Critically, no individual from Union Carbide, including CEO Warren Anderson, ever served prison time for what is considered the world's worst industrial disaster. The quest for accountability had failed. Today, decades later, the legacy of Bhopal is a wound that is never healed. The Union Carbide factory site remains a toxic wasteland, its corroded tanks and pipelines still leaching poisons into the soil and groundwater. The contamination continues to affect new generations. Children are born with an alarming rate of birth defects and developmental problems. The survivors suffer from a catalog of chronic illnesses, respiratory problems, blindness, cancers, and neurological damage. The few $100s of compensation are long gone, but the medical bills keep coming. The disaster stands as a terrifying reminder of what can happen when corporate profits are prioritized over human safety. It is a story of corporate negligence, of failed justice, and of the devastating human price of unchecked industrialization. For the world, it was a disaster, but for the people of Bhopal, it is a nightmare that never ended. They are still breathing the poison, still fighting for their health, and still waiting for true justice.